STB Podcast.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to Supposed to Be Podcast. You're Franklin, fresh out of a surgery, a minor surgery. That's the reason I couldn't make any episodes. Hi, man. It's alright. Let's make something out of what we have. Okay. So, yeah, how have you been? How have you been doing and stuff? Yeah, the usual things. So I was just riding along to another station, and I thought, why not make a video while we are on our way? Why not make an episode on our way, like with the most important guest, obviously, oneself. Yeah, myself. Uh, okay, so today has been a horrible day. What's the date today? Today has been a horrible, horrifying day. 11th Saturday of July 2021. I got up in the morning. I literally didn't go to church. Just for one guy called Conor McGregor to see that awful sighting of getting his tibia broken into two. That hurt, man. It's been tough. You know, to be a fan of that guy, dude, it's too hard, man, to defend that guy. Like, he's probably the coolest guy I ever know. Like, the way he handled the defeat, the way Conor handles defeat is just beautiful. I mean, you cannot think of anyone who can handle defeat like Conor, right? The way I don't know, bro. The way he swipes through the pressure, it's incomparable. Nobody can do that. It might be a fan who is obsessing over him throughout the serious things, like, you know, fans, we have this confirmation bias where we always think whatever a guy does is the right thing. I understand all of that, but Conor, the way he handled the loss, the way he handles losses since the Khabib fight, man, just superb, bro. Just giant superb, man. But, bro, he has been in horrifying performance. Conor has had a horrifying performance. To be honest, since the Khabib fight, I don't see him fighting like Conor at all. The activity, the way he moves on his foot. Conor is not Conor. Wait, why the hell am I talking about Conor so much? Following you back. Oh, someone's taking a selfie in the middle of the road. Hi. Woo, baby. Shh. Okay. It's been so many days. I've met so many people. Like 6 months, I did not meet people properly. Made me think. Then I thought to myself, 1 second. Yeah. Then I thought to myself, how many apps are there to substitute the vacancy which is filled through lack of human connectivity, like tangible connectivity? There is an app to date. There is an app to study. There is an app to, like Twitter, to hate. What is free thinking then? It made me wonder, what is free thinking? What are we doing here? I mean, I remember a movie called Wall-E. So what happens in this movie is, Wall-E finally discovers human civilization, which has abandoned the world and went on to Mars to have a new civilization. Okay? And everybody is fat, unhealthy, everybody's in control of an Android system, everybody has automated mechanism, they do not even walk, they just sit on their seats, every single activity. From eating food to studying, everything is done by some automated machine. This automated machine actually has its own intelligence and has been manipulating human beings for its own favor. That's what has been found out. Now let me ask you one question. Back then, it seemed very impossible for human beings to give up their freedom like that. But right now, let me talk about one particular device. Mobile phone. As soon as I got up, the first thing that I want to see is a mobile phone screen. When I'm free, I want to see a mobile phone screen. When I'm angry, I want to see my mobile phone screen. When I'm in love, I want to see my mobile phone screen. To get through my fears, I want to see my mobile phone screen. And then I question myself. Wait, I used to be satisfied with watching mobile phone only for 1 to 2 hours at a time. And right now, I am literally not able to live without it. Like literally, I'm not able to live without it. Right? I have been convinced that using the phone like this extensively is all right. But people laugh at the fact that androids can take control over us. That human being world, you can go watch the movie again called Wall-E. When you look at it right now, you'd think that such a world cannot be possible. It's just a cartoon imagination. But think again. Morning, I get up, I bow my head down, I seek it. And throughout the day, I bow my head down and I watch it. I worship this one particular device. See, everything that my pastor said at one point of time, at one point in my life, turned out to be true. For example, my pastor used to say, worshipping is not, the modern day form of worshipping is this, in which you give time to it more than you give time to God. I thought it's just some Christian guy, a Christian religious leader, trying to say that you're spending less time with God, just pray. See, at the end of the day, what do religious leaders say? Pray, praise to God, and invest your time in the Bible. So I think it was his way of just telling to quit on other stuff and just and just pray. Since he's a pastor, he has to say he has to pray, right? That's what I thought. But now I understand. I worship this device every day and night by seeking it. The problem with this is you have no free thinking. If you remember, I said mobile phones, right? When I'm angry, when I'm weak, when I'm tired, for every single thing I'm supplanting this. All the information can be compacted in this one particular device called mobile phone, right? Such power if it is not used with proper wisdom, will assuredly screw up our life. All your emotions are substituted through the swiping of the phone. You just keep swiping and swiping and swiping. Why are we swiping, huh? Have you ever asked, why are you swiping? Yeah? When you swipe down, did you ever question, why are you swiping it? It gives some satisfaction, and to justify that satisfaction, there's always some beautiful content present while you swipe. So your emotions, let me be honest, there was this time in my life where I saw that emotions are unnecessary. Emotions are unnecessary, and we have to live through it. And the best way to live through and get through our emotional times is by simply swiping your phone. The phone was so powerful, no matter what emotion I was in, it helped me look through it. Whatever we are doing at the end of the day is just because we know we have to do it. Right? We are not working through our emotions. Emotions are so important to human being that when you work through it, who knows what mighty thing can happen. First of all, I think this is an theist perspective. This is not an atheist perspective. If you're an atheist and you do not necessarily entertain theist perspective, it's okay. Just take out what you can, and what you don't want, you can delete. What I was trying to say is, see, life is more than just biology. Right? If life was only about biology, the world and its advances right now had to make significant difference to each and every life. There was a time when once man thought if he could sail across the ocean, he could solve all his problems. There was a time when man thought if he could fly above the skies, it would solve all his problems. There was a time when man thought if he could invent a medication to tuberculosis, polio, and stuff, because at that moment, as he was suffering, he thought there would be no world problems. There would be nirvana passed through this. Every time humanity kept progressing with the vision that there will one day be nirvana at the end of the day, there is something always coming down. The state of our life is always almost somewhat similar or same, right? So as progressive as we are technologically, philosophically, we have to understand the fact that we are human beings, and there's some particular story. There is always a story behind it, and story is not a part of a life where it has no meaning. There is a story because there is a meaning, right? But when you negate your emotion, what happens is you subtract the meaning to your life. You subtract your meaning to your life and consider yourself only biologically relevant. Okay? Indirectly, think about it. I hope you're with me. I hope you're understanding the context that I'm speaking through. Okay? If you subtract emotions and just live according to the wisdom that you have accumulated. Okay, the society right now says get a job. The society right now says earn, financially be stable, work with your family. What if eventually down the line there comes to a point where society says screw your family, explore your own visions, do what you feel right. Human beings can work through it. And then someone posts a study saying it has found that scientists have discovered that children, when left alone to their own troubles, they can come out 100% better than if you took care of them. You never know what's going to happen, right? See, anything is possible, not just technologically, but philosophically speaking too, right? So biologically, if you only consider biologically and negate your emotions in the theist perspective, what is your plan in life then? If all you're here for is to live, eat your food, do what the society tells you to do, and then die, what are we here for? These are deep thoughts. I know these are deep thoughts. But then I realized that that's exactly what I was doing when I was scrolling down my phone. And then I thought only it's me addicted to phones. But then again, I observed a lot of people going through the same turmoil, going through the same thing. I see little babies hooked onto their mobile phones, negating activity, physical activity, if any, if ever existed. Your body is not, when that happens, your connectivity to your mind, your symmetry of actions, your symmetry of thoughts, they do not exist. You're simply a plain machine. It's not working out fine. You're simply a machine. See, this is this is less of a podcast episode and more of a awareness text that I'm using. Detox. Always have one goal. Detox of technology. We have to literally stop looking at screens and their content, the way we are hooked on to it. If this continues, there might be some other device. I mean, they're already artificial intelligence is already included, right, in phone, Siri, and stuff. So, what is the next habit? Now, next, first we were pressing buttons. Next, we are swiping through the screens. Next, we are speaking to the phones. Third, I don't think so. I don't think so. We even have to speak. I just think it's as simple as think. I just thought it, and something happened. Oh, I think it's already in works. If I'm not wrong, I'm speaking about Neuralink, a device attached to brain. So that device attached to brain might be attached to someone like Siri, who will extend its user case from mobile phones to entire house electronic systems such as fan, curtains, lights. So all I have to do is that I will think, yeah, and like the guy from the X-Men, the grandpa from the X-Men. All I have to do is think, and it will happen accordingly. Okay, and since it is able and possible to communicate with your AI at your home, looking into your electrical house applications, it will also be possible for me to send voice signals through thoughts to another person. Okay, right? And eventually, when all that is possible, at the end of the day, this is data being stored by another artificial intelligence. Do you think such a reality is impossible? I mean, how crazy is this thought? How crazy is this thought? And as I'm speaking and thinking of things that are possible, I just know that it's not impossible. The only thing stopping the application of such things right now is the acceptance of people. I don't think so that online payment would have been accepted by all the parents, all the middle-aged people right now, 45, 50 years people right now, if you had introduced it just 6 years ago. Every single mom and dad is so invested in their WhatsApp text forward messages. Especially my mom, I see my mom, she's always hooked on to her YouTube. This was the same person who told me not to watch Transformers for half an hour and whooped my ass with a brown broom. Right? I was like, where does this end? We are saying that phone is alright. In the name of practicability, we are saying that phone is alright. See, there is a unique relationship between a philosophy of life and the devices that we purchase. See, whatever lifestyle that we are incorporating right now, the beginning of this was done in America when commercialized products and their advertisement began from TV. First, it started with radio, the first form of mass communication. Then it started with TV. So what TV made possible was multiple people from multiple areas, from multiple worlds being visible in front of your screen. Okay, then it became a standard quo. Okay, so practical use is not the only use of a device. What happens next is it became a staple need for every single home. Here comes philosophy, and that automatically turned into such a device. One second. Yeah, so here comes the philosophy. So it automatically turned into such a device where every home had to have a TV, whether they want it or not. And this pattern continued throughout everything. Then came car, then came mobile phones, then came washing machine, mixer, washing machine, and etc. etc. I'll give you a better example of what I'm trying to say. for example, feministic movement, right? Uh, mothers mothers were they were two roles before. A role of man. In antiquity, there were two roles: a role of man who used to provide bread through his labor because of his stiffness, because of his masculine body and his capabilities, and mom, through her tender love, would provide what? Her care, her tender love, her cooking, her nurture to the child, right? What happened is, thanks to commercialization and thanks to the inventions, the work of every single person became easy. The person who was doing the labor and the person who is nurturing the home through her capabilities, right? Now, humanity has been functioning more or less the same way for thousands and thousands of years up to a 19th century. Now, because of such a product, because of inventions of such products, our philosophy has been morphed. Because of the easy functioning, because of the practical ease of any activity right now, man and woman were not able to disintegrate between their roles, right? They figured out that, okay, you can do what I can do what you can. So these roles that people had so many days, and the lines between them are diminishing, have almost diminished. A woman can now bravely say, why should I do this? Why should I only stick to doing this? Honestly, it does not make sense. You have to look from the perspective. It does not make sense to act in a certain way. I mean, in an atheistic perspective, to act in a certain way, to act according to a certain role. People before acted because the nature was predominant over there. Right now, we are about the technology that we are developing has transcended nature. The technology that we are developing has transcended nature, and there is no distinction at all as of now. Anybody can do any work. That's how consumership affects philosophy. Like, it literally diminished the lines between male and female. The two most important segregation, the first ever segregation that existed, the first ever difference that existed was male and female, and consumerism literally diminished roles of gender. I mean, how powerful is that? So if God is real in an atheistic perspective, again, sorry, I'm contradicting myself multiple times. Like, I say atheist, I use theism once and I use atheism once. You have to try to understand to get the gist of it, all right? So if God is real and human beings have value, we who have been controlled, in control of our life for so many days, do you think it's very far? Are we very far from a time where machines will not control us? Forget about machines. Forget about the fear about how machines and artificial intelligence will control us. Think for yourself. How human are you? Like, does someone's death affect you the same way it affected before? Absolutely not. Someone's death does not affect us the same way as it affected before. Don't you think that's crazy enough? We have everything to ease, to make us feel good. We have feel good movies to make us feel happy. We have laughter movies to connect with the person. We have dating apps, right? To conduct a class. To conduct a class, we have video call apps. We went from chopping wood, mending steel, typing computer screens, where we had to put each and every data. Typing first. After that, typing on computer screens later. After typing on computer screens, we went on to code. And While we are in coding, we also went on from typing to swiping. While from swiping, we went to speaking. From speaking, we are going to thinking. From thinking, I think after that, we won't even be thinking anymore. After that, we won't be knowing what we are doing. From thinking, what's next? What's next after that? Value to life is so important. We have to have a moment with ourselves every day. That's what I feel. We have to start detoxing mobile applications. We have to stop relying on applications for every single kind of interaction. Oh no, I take that back. We are human beings. We have to have control over our stuff. I would not say stop relying. I would say use every application for your own benefit while realizing, while understanding, while knowing that, while being aware of the fact that you can be taken control of. You can be taken control of your every political agenda, your beliefs. Think for yourself. How many times have you lost peace because of the stuff that's being said in mobile phone and news? How many people are taking control over your cool, over your learning, over your day-to-day activities via your mobile phone? How many people? Right? How free is your thinking? How much of you is present in you? We have to ask these questions. See, right now, I understand. What I'm speaking is too, like, how should I put it? What I'm speaking right now might not resonate with you. Why? Because you are right. It's not that serious. But we went from spending 1 hour to 6 hours. Think for yourself. Everybody laughs while they're speaking. Bro, I just checked out my usage. It's been 6 hours. I'm so, like, I'm so not, like, I'm so jobless. You keep laughing at it. So then you will laugh more and then say you're spending 8 hours. Then 12 hours. Then 20 hours. Then 24 hours. Then whatever you believe will be based on your world. Your world is your screen. Your screen is your dictator. Anybody who controls that controls you. Before concentration camps of Hitler, what happened is there's someone called as Joseph Goebbels. He was the PR of Hitler's Nazi party. So what this guy realized was media had a strong influence on people. So he took the help of media to spread heroic movies about his soldiers. He took the help of media and radio communication to spread message about Jews and convinced them that they were the conspirators who made the winning World War I to a defeat for Germany. I from here can say that how stupid it was. How stupid it was for German people to believe something so simple. I mean, to get convinced about such stupid things. I try to understand them more. See, nobody has time to think such deep thoughts every day. Everybody has to take care of their family. But the power of numbers is that you have automatically created an environment where even if you're doubting it, because of the acceptance of the environment of that fact, you will also eventually accept without thinking about it much. Everybody thinks about things, but they do not have the time to think about it much. Yes, why? Because people have responsibilities, buddy. They can't keep thinking about this and that every single time, right? How different is that from this? Nobody has time to keep thinking about deep thoughts. We have to provide bread and butter to our family. You have to be average. Average is not a sin because you have priorities. You have to provide bread and butter to your family, and you have to look after them. So obviously, they do not have time to conceptualize every single thing, note what is right, note what is wrong, have a foresight about what this might result to. Made me wonder. There was no technology back then. There were no people. There were no corporations back then, and yet something as horrible as the genocide of Jews occurred. Auschwitz, concentration camps, etc. You'd think that history would not repeat itself, but then again, you have to wonder: does it really not repeat itself? Do you know what's happening around our Indian borders? China has been extensively trying its level best to cover up our boundaries. China has been there's something called a string of pearls where China has set up harbors around Indian ports. China wants to gain control of our Indian ports, and via concept of string of pearls, it has established harbors to gain control over the Indian Ocean, the three sides of the nation, which is called with sea, to take control over that and eventually get control of India. Also throughout Jammu, I mean throughout the northwestern side of India, there have been advances made. China has been caught trying to, while violating the laws of peace and treaty, whatever that might have existed. China has been trying to somehow gain and garner militarily advantageous information. So, as comfortable as we are living, we have to understand that world and life is not that simple. It's a complicated thing. We are always vulnerable to, which history always repeats. That's all I want to say. History. Oh no. History has. There is always a possibility of history repeating itself. There is always a possibility of history repeating itself. We have to learn from it. We can never forget our history. Automated cars, I forgot about. While I just saw a car, the guy was like, "Yeah, bro, automated cars." So first of all, I knew that when the world shifted from manual to automatic, that was the biggest sin of mankind, and God already got pissed off with that. Manuals are the best. I don't give what you. I don't care what you say. Manuals, bikes, or cars are the best. There is your effort into it. When you put that clutch on and when you change that gear, there is an emotion running through you. You are controlling the vehicle. You are asking that vehicle to go forward with all its threshold that is present. What's the joy in automatic cars? You just press a stupid pedal and then you go forward and then take a right turn, then take a left turn. Oh, and then you're happy because you reached your office and work 9 to 5 and then come back home to your boring life. No, bro, you have to change those gears. Then I see this. Then I see what Tesla does. Electric cars, okay, good invention. The world really needs it. I mean, we are populating the world like anything. We cannot rely on extinguishing our natural resources anymore. But automated cars, hmm? So I just sit in the car and wait for things to go forward. I just sit at home. I say, Siri, switch on the TV, change the channel. That is not a world you want to live in. somehow, even though I'm saying that it's not a world that we want to live in, technological advancements, nobody can stop it. It will happen. Nobody can say that, nobody can justify any efforts done by man which are to make life easier. Any efforts done by man which are made to make which are used to make the life of a man easier cannot be stopped. I mean, on what basis can I stop? Should I say the Amish people? There are someone called the Amish people. I thought it's funny how Amish people are Christians, a Christian community at America. So they basically ride on horsebacks. They do not use technology as much, and even up to now, they wear simple clothes. They wear simple clothes. Why? These are all the people that I laughed at once. I mean, I was like, why would you do that? Why would you make your life so stressful? Just enjoy life. The world is a beautiful place. Make utilization of the inventions of man. That's what I thought. But now, the same people that I laughed at were 100 and 200 years ahead of me in my thoughts. The same people whom I laughed at were hundreds and 200 years ahead of this deep, enlightening thoughts that I have. They do not use extensive technology because they believe that it's not of God, it's not of Christ. I'm not sure what's the particular use, but it's somehow related to religion. They say that in the name of God we should not do that, and wow, they were spot on right. I have to say, they were spot on that prediction. If you think for yourself, if you did not have the devices that you do, if you did not have the money that you had, if you did not have the comfort that you have, how different would your life be? How different would your definition of life be? How different would the definition of your life be? I mean, I know it would be hard, but just your belief. For once, imagine, what would your beliefs be if there was no car? What would your belief be if there was no car, but you had your relative 20 kilometers away from you? How dear would that relative be to you? If you did not have a mobile phone, what would your belief be towards your beau, your girl, who is so precious to you, and you are so precious to her? Because first of all, in order to win her heart, you had to meet her, you had to show her your actions. Through your actions, you had to prove and display how much. Through your actions, you had to prove, and your sacrifice, through your actions, through your sacrifice, you had to prove to her how much you love her. And only when because that was the only way of communication. The problem with ease of communication is, you thought that ease of communication would help a lover to tell her comfortably how much you love her. But the problem is, the ease of communication, man always screws up, right? The problem is, the ease of communication served less in that case and served more in this use case where not one guy but 100 guys were able to communicate with her. Okay? So in this world where there are no mobile phones, where you're not able to contact, how many things did you have to sacrifice? How many battles that you had to battle? And not to forget the fact that the supply of people doing that is also completely minimum. how precious would she be? And how precious would he be to you? And I don't understand, in the future, will there be something called as mother's love? Because I know mother's love. I always wondered through. There is nothing more powerful than the love of mother in this world. I have to say, nothing can surpass that. Nothing can defeat that. Any man or any daughter who is deprived of mother's love, I have to say, man, it's a very, very, very sad reality. Every man deserves to have mother's love. Every woman deserves to have a mother's love. But then comes the future. In a consumer-filled world, in an automated world, in such a world, what is called mother's love? Man's labor can be easily supplanted, man. Labor, whatever work, practical work it is, can be easily supplanted. But the nurture of mother, which is of different essence, what's the future for it? Life will be very easy further on. There will be no bullying. So I won't have to listen to my father's advice. Since US children already call on cops whenever their parents hit them. Like, for example, if my father used to hit me, I used to go to my mom and say, and find love and find love, and I'd find comfort over there after I'd get my ass whooped left and right from my father with his legs, punch, uppercut, slide, RKO, etc. So since that is also not possible in the future, there's no such thing as mom comforting me. There's no such thing as dad advising me. Will there ever be a necessity for human emotions? Salvation, I mean, we are very interested and hooked on to save ourselves from the exploits of the natures. If the nature is exhausted, we are worried about that, and we are taking all the right steps. Eco energy, trying to decrease the carbon footprint, etc. But what about our nature? The nature of man to think, the nature of man to feel emotions. I worship my phone. As soon as I get up to the night, I bow down in front of my phone and I say to my phone, I cannot live without you. You be by my side forever and ever. Never say never to any possibility. Always be free thinkers. Work through your emotions. Your emotions are necessary for you to create. Your emotions are necessary for you to compose. Your emotions are necessary for you to invent. Do not quit on your emotions. Do not create things just based on data. If you create things just based on data, the problem is you provide an equally beautiful product. You create an equally beautiful product. But just in all honesty, it's just a progress of humanity. Like, no, wait, what I'm trying to say. See, if you're relying on data only data to create something beautiful, there is no you in that. There is nothing new in that. But when you work through your emotions and when you create based upon your emotions and what you feel, who knows what you might rewrite? You might rewrite the entire system. Whatever system was existing is the previous data based on which you create, might be impressive, and you keep growing on that. But when you believe your emotions, you create something new. You bring what you think is right. And when you bring out something new based on what you think is right, while you delete and are inconsiderate towards all norms, that's what I call invention. That's what I call progress. That's the true progress of humanity. Supposed to be podcast, everyone, people. Episode 4 with Franklin Manabas Darla, the one and only. I hope this allows you to think with new perspective. I hope this makes you wonder about multiple possibilities. I hope we understood each other and I did not lose you. Yeah. Free thinking forever. Bye-bye.